everyone, Coach Mandy Hansen here. Today I interviewed a special guest. She is an activist for dogs everywhere, passionate about animal care. She is a lover of people and a successful businesswoman. She leads a productive and busy life while managing her chronic pain, and I think that she has a lot to offer us in her experience and wisdom with just how she does that. And so I'm really excited that you guys get to meet my friend Kelly Griebel at Century 21 Freedom Realty. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. You are this incredibly successful and active woman in our community. And not just business-wise, but also for what you're passionate about. And these are things that inspire people like me and other people in our community. So I was surprised to find out that you actually have chronic pain. That is why I've invited you here today. My viewers and myself have a lot that we can learn from how you maintain a busy and successful life while managing your pain. What inspires your passion for business and about your biggest achievements?
I work at Century 21 Freedom Realty, and I've been there for 16 years, and I love people, I love marketing, advertising, and finding people homes.
People to really get the idea of how busy you are and what your life looks like as far as business.
I think it was 143 homes, 146 homes, closings that I had last year, but it's only with the help of my amazing assistant Tiffany, and I have some good employees that work for me that make me able to do that. Also, for the last 3 years, I've been the #1 Century 21 realtor for number of closed sales in the entire Northwest. That makes me feel good. Yes, our average home is like $230,000. So I'm going up against people in Spokane, Washington who sell 15, but they're a couple $1 million homes each. Wow. I just have to sell like 10 times as many.
That's incredible. And you mentioned that you work sometimes 10-hour days. And
yeah, in the summer more.
Tell us about your chronic pain.
17 years ago, I was in a car accident, and it resulted in torn ligaments in my neck, which seemed at the time minor, but I'll tell you what, it wasn't. And went to the doctor the next day. I had to go to physical therapy 3 times a week, at least a year. I had migraines and neck pain 4 or 5 days a week for the first couple of years. It was pretty bad, and it wore on myself as a person and on my family. You know, it's not fun when you have a child and you can't go sledding and you can't put a helmet on your head to go snow machining with your family. It made me feel like I was a failure as a mom and a wife and anything else. You know, and then there's the weight gain, and then there's the laying in bed with headaches. It wasn't easy.
It affects every aspect of your life. The spiritual,
sure
the emotional, your speech.
You just need to switch gears. At that time, I was teaching probably 7 or 8 aerobic type classes, spinning bikes and weightlifting a week. It's kind of what I did until Haley was in school full time, but that all came to a screeching halt.
Some of the key things for how have you learned to manage your chronic pain?
So, knowing my limits is probably #1. You have to accept that your life is probably not going to be what it was before. You have to accept the limits. You have to choose what is important to me and focus on that. The rest of the stuff just kind of goes by the wayside. Have a good team of friends surrounding you and find something you like to do.
Right.
Like for me, I found Pilates. It is something I can do. In fact, I think any age, any body type, anyone could do it to their own level.
Which is great for people because it's no impact. And it still builds strength and core strength and muscles.
It's a really good stretching, but you don't have to hold those poses like sometimes in yoga.
I love that you've set up your office to accommodate your condition.
Yeah. Sometimes I do have to sit in front of the computer for hours. Having a comfortable chair that supports your back, or having the slide out, so everything is ergonomically set up. Also take breaks. Do the stretches, walk around the office, and it helps me get through the day if I have a lot of sit-down stuff I have to do.
Which is about recognizing your limits again and saying, I mean, we can stop ourselves before we're in pain and stretch or take a time out or relax. And and then that way we don't kind of perpetuate the pain cycle, you know. There are certain things that you do to treat your chronic pain as preventative.
I do go to the chiropractor regularly. I did have physical therapy a lot, but I'm not doing that anymore. But I do get a massage at least once a month, a deep tissue massage. I have a massage chair at home, which is pretty nice, but it's not, you know, like the real thing. And I do the heat up packs for my neck. I have a really good pillow and a body pillow because I find it really helps to support your other limbs if you're a side sleeper.
At some point we have to decide, I'm going to be okay, and I'd love to hear about your process of
It's a couple years after the accident, and you know, my family life was suffering, and I just finally had to make a decision within myself, you know, okay, this is my life. I need to accept it. I need to make the best of it and do what I can and just get up and move on. And that's what you have to do. Save your family and save yourself. Right. At some point, you just have to make that decision. And I wanted to do something with my life.
So your life kind of came to a fork, and it wasn't going to go the way that you had thought it was.
Because it made me start in real estate. And that's probably something I wouldn't have thought about doing.
No, and thank God you did, because
look at this beautiful house.
I know, because she sold our starter home and helped us buy our dream home. I was always impressed with your business as our realtor. I wanted to text you or email you certain things just to get them off my chest, just to get the ball out of my court and back into yours.
And you knew you could do that at any time, day or night.
I texted you on Sunday. I think I texted you on Mother's Day, and I was so surprised that an hour later I would get a response.
Did it take a whole hour?
Wow, this girl is on it. And I know that a lot of that was, as you mentioned, having an assistant that you love and adore and trust, and having a team of people that you delegate to.
Yeah, I certainly couldn't do it on my own.
Was that difficult in the beginning, like you became a realtor and then you got this team and you had to trust other people to help you?
Well, I was a realtor for probably 7 years before I hired my first assistant, and that was really hard because I like to have control. I'm the person who thinks if you want something done right and done on time, you have to do it yourself. And I finally thought, you know, I can't do it all. I can't keep up. Things are suffering, and then when I have those long hours and I have the stress, it just adds to my pain. I hired my first assistant, and it's a little tough to let go of the reins, but it's amazing how I was able to get back into having a life again.
And have an increase of success, you know, because you're able to branch out and do more. I think that's big. People are having a hard time cleaning their home. There's certain tasks of cleaning and keeping their house maintained, and they have a hard time delegating that to a housekeeper. There's a process in working with people that we can go through, and you can trust people. You can train people to do things the way that you like them. What helps you feel better when you're having a flare-up?
If things get really bad, honestly, I love dogs. We have 2 rescues. My daughter has 4 rescues, and those are like my grandchildren. Going home to them, just putting on my sweats, crawling in bed and snuggling with them, that just makes me a new person. It's like, I feel like dogs are kind of my purpose. I know it has nothing to do with real estate.
We're going to speak on this.
Love them.
Yes. I do want to speak to your passion about your love of dogs. It's tremendously important that we have a way to give back in something that we're passionate about in life. What I see you doing in our community for dogs is beautiful.
Something to come home to every day. I wish that everybody was able to have a dog. I really do. Sometimes it's hard to have that stable home because if people are renting, you know, they may not be able to have a dog, and you don't want to take a dog in and then have to get rid of it, because that's traumatic on the dog to be shifted around from home to home.
What about the change you want to see in the world?
Oh, it would have to do with animals and dogs. I would love to be able to help people have their animals spayed and neutered, because there are some people who do just their dogs produce litter after litter after litter, and the more animals that are out there, the more that they get into the wrong hands of people who can't care for them or just don't really care for them. I wish that animals could be spayed and neutered, and then they would be better taken care of and more sought after, and just like a prized possession. Instead of something that's disposable. Like, oh, this dog is too much work, get rid of it. We have to move and we don't want to take it out of state. You wouldn't believe the things I see on Facebook, and it breaks my heart and it makes me sick. And I want to help those.
I think it's just really important for people to have something that they're passionate about and that they care about, in a way to give back into our community, whatever community that they're in. That's part of them living healthy. What products do you love for your pain?
I would probably have to say my favorite is doTERRA Deep Blue. You could take it with you anywhere you go, and it's amazing. I do love it.
What advice would you give someone who wants to lead a busy life and has chronic pain?
Know your limits. Decide what's important, make that a priority. The rest can go by the wayside, and have a really good support team. Have that group of friends or family members that supports you and believes in you, that you can call on when you're having a bad day. And, just maintenance on yourself. Make sure you get rest. Make sure that you're eating right. Being successful and living a life where you're managing pain, it's a little bit of everything.
And we can bring your pain level down a little bit in a lot of different ways. But if you can go from a 10 to a 4, you can lead a beautiful life.
You know what we should do? We should start a mobile therapy dog business where we bring a therapy dog to go get pet and snuggle with people who need it, because not everyone can have a dog.
That's a good idea. If you guys want
In our
to do
spare
this
time.
or get involved in that, get a hold of Kelly. I am going to link below how to contact her as a realtor, but also how to get hold of her if you're interested in her passion for dogs and her love of dogs as well. Rest and relaxation. Important part.
Yeah. So my heaven is Hawaii. Just being in the sun and having warmth and laying on the beach and floating in the ocean, that's like my heaven. And when I can't be there, it's at home with my husband and my dogs.
What words of encouragement do you have?
You can do it. Baby steps. Just one thing at a time. Focus on what's important, and it's not all going to happen at once. Sometimes it takes years.
I will link below how to get a hold of you, not just for your business, but for dogs as well. I'm hoping that you get some outreach for that. So thank you for coming here today and meeting with us. I am so grateful that you spent time to do this out of your busy schedule.
Yeah, you wanna know